Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal, Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. I have had better days. So far the day's pretty good, but I know that's not going to be my favorite day in the world. We're back in Joplin, Missouri. If you were following my Route 66 trip, you know that my transmission blew out here in Joplin, and I just left the car here, got a rental car, and continued on with the trip. Well, the trip is over. Katie has flown home, and I was gonna go join her, but I got invited to go do something. So I had to come back, drop the car off here in Joplin, donate my car, which is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna donate it to Cars for Kids. Then we're gonna hop on a plane. We're gonna fly to Las Vegas, because as Katie and I were leaving Las Vegas, we were doing that whole part at the Chapel of the Bells where Vegas Vacation ends, because we were doing Vegas Vacation filming locations. We got a text message from the guy who was going to help me get into Wayne Newton's estate, which is also a filming location for Vegas Vacation. He called me and said, hey, I got a date for us, we can do it. So it turned out that was just a couple of days after what we're doing today. So I just said, well, okay, I'll drop off the car, fly back out there, and we'll vlog Wayne Newton's house in a couple days. So that's what we're doing. That's our plan for today. Daze with Jordan the Lion and you all. It begins right now. So what the heck are we doing at Home Depot, you wonder? Well, since I had no intention of the car dying, I had a lot of stuff in my car, and I had to come back, throw it all in a box so that I can mail it home, and yeah, then I will join it in a few days. By the way, I should say, I called it Wayne Newton's house. It's Wayne Newton's former house. He doesn't own Shenandoah anymore, and it's actually for sale. So we're gonna be going and seeing it while it's for sale. All right, let's get all of my stuff home. Right here on Route 66, you can even see the sign over there. All right, that big box, I was not sure what the heck to expect. That was only 20 pounds, so it was $81 to mail. That was worth it. I had a pack of like paint pens in there that alone was worth like $35, a $100 Minnesota Twins jacket when I was freezing in the rain there. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal. 80 bucks to get my stuff home. That wasn't too bad. Great jazz mural to some of the people from Joplin. I love it. Right here across from the post office. Joplin Union Depot. I got a little sidetracked because I saw an old sign that said Joplin Depot, and I look back here and it's all fenced off because it's basically looks like it's going to be demolished, or I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. We're not going to go in it, of course, because it's barbed wired and everything, but it's just kind of interesting to see all the structure still out here and kind of wondering what they're going to do with it. Beautiful old piece of history for sure. Could do without all the swastikas and stuff on it, but look, you can see Joplin right up at the top. That's really sad to see. Definitely bygone era. You can see the train tracks and everything run over here. But it looks like you would have entered through over here and then walked that path in. Like I said, I don't mess around with trespassing and stuff because it's just not worth it. But definitely can look at what we can see from outside the gates. Kind of just fascinated by the architecture. I am seeing that someone has put a hole in the fencing so you can sneak in, but I'm not. Just not worth it. Plus a worker truck has already driven by and seen me out here walking around, so I'd just be asking for it. Cool architecture though. Looks like you can kind of see where the doors would have been over here. And then kind of the ticket taker stuff over here. See, there's a hole right there, but interesting. I hope they do something with the structure. I hope they find a way to use it again. It kind of looks like that's what they're doing. Turn it into a park, or I don't know, something like that. It's kind of interesting to see the wood from the old doors though, like right there. There's a little bit of it there, and then some of it a little further down here. You can kind of get an idea of what it used to look like. Here's a mural over here for George Spiva Center, but they also have the Union Depot right there in the mural as well. Apparently they used to have train cars. There she is. What a great car this has been. This has been an I'm gonna leave the Elvis license plate on there, by the way. That thing kept getting stuck in car washes and bent up and everything. I just kind of feel like it belongs with the car. I got that car. I muddled through. The last car I had before this was a Toyota Corolla. I ran that thing into the ground doing late night delivery jobs and all that stuff in Los Angeles, and blew out the engine, replaced the engine, that one blew out, and it was just always a hassle. So when my channel finally started doing well, I was able to go and put a down payment on this car, and this became, I would rent a car here and there, but it was just so comfortable, and I never ever had any problems with it. The whole time I had it, I think the only things that ever had to be done to it that weren't normal maintenance were I ran the air conditioner to death, and had to replace the fan. And that actually happened while I was at my grandpa's house, and he replaced it for me. And then it got a hole in the engine manifold, which didn't affect the driving, but it was just kind of noisy, so I replaced that. But other than that, I don't think this car ever cost me more than, I don't know, 2,500 bucks in repairs the whole time I had it. I got it with 28,000 miles, and it's gonna go have a new life. Hopefully somebody else will put a transmission in it. Go have a new life at 187,000 miles. Never named it. Never really named cars, so. But my friend Video Bob used to make fun of this car constantly. He's like, I can't believe you'd have a Nissan Altima. Those are the worst cars I never had. He'd say, worst cars in the world. I go, dude, I've never had one problem with it. I don't think I had any repairs, including that air conditioner, till about 150,000 miles. I got to give these guys a huge shout out to Amco of Joplin. When this happened, you know, some people were like, you should get a mom and pop to fix it. I can't, because of how much I travel. I needed a nationwide place that could do the transmission work, and they were going to be able to get us on the road by the end of the week. We were here on a Monday. They said they could probably get us on the road by Friday. But in the end, what it costs now to do the transmission and what I paid for the car and what the car's worth, it just wasn't worth it. So they were cool enough to let me park it here the entire 3 weeks that I was gone to finish my road trip and come back and everything. They didn't charge me a penny. They couldn't have been nicer. They even tried, when I told them I wanted to donate it and everything, they said, hey, we'll help you find a place to donate it, and we'll even give you a ride to the airport if you need it. I mean, they were super cool here. I can't say enough about them. My grandpa always helps me make decisions on cars, so he helped me pick this out actually from Ohio. He found it in California for me, It was a great car, and I think when I bought it, I think I got it for like $11,000. It was 3 years old at that point with 28,000 miles. So when it hit about 100,000 miles, they said, hey, you know, I'm reading up on these. Maybe you should consider getting rid of it. You may have problems, you know, at some point after 100,000 miles. And we started looking for cars. They were like double or more the price. So I don't know what it's gonna be. That's why I decided to keep it, you know, knowing I would eventually have a problem. It's just, I figured, you know, let's just run it into the ground for how much I paid for it. All right, he's here. I hate to do it. Before she goes up, before she's officially not mine anymore, gotta take my license plates off the back. It was a good car for me. I had no problems with it until the end. Till I took it to a dealership. When I took it to the dealership, they ruined it for me, I think. All right, goodbye car. Goodbye Elvis. It's not quite a funeral, but it kind of feels like it. We've put on a lot of miles together. We've had a lot of fun together. I know it's just a car and we'll get another, but man, I could always count on that thing. I never had a concern with the brakes, nothing. If I was taking it anywhere, I knew it could handle it. Somebody play the bagpipes. This car deserves it. Deserves a freaking 21 gun salute. Ba 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 ba. I'm glad I was able to donate it. You know, at least it can come in good for another cause. I looked into, there were several veterans causes, but you know, Cars for Kids I've been hearing about forever. Goodbye. End of service. The Lion Mobile is no more. We have a little bit of time to kill before we have to turn the rental car in, so I'm gonna go out to a place called the Undercliff restaurant. Being out in the middle of nowhere, they sure get a lot of business. Look at that. I'm actually not hungry. I'm not gonna eat anything, but I wanna go in and take a look, see what it looks like inside. So they call it the Undercliff because it was actually built under a cliff. You can see it from inside the restaurant. Neat. You can see the rock wall. I'm gonna get one of their menus just out of curiosity, and the first thing I saw was deviled eggs. I love it. Philly cheesesteaks, they got burgers. Call it miner's pick. This must be a heavy mining area out here. I knew that, but this particular area must be specialty Saginaw Hill meatloaf. I was shocked to see that it was closed because it was so well known out here, and the people online even said they called and the number was disconnected and everything, but look how busy they are. Interesting and popular place. I love to see that it's back open again. Okay, enough stalling. Let's take the car in. Okay, enough stalling. Let's take the rental car in, and then I'm gonna hail a taxi to the Joplin airport. Man, the people here in Joplin turned out to be really great. I was supposed to bring my rental car back here, and then I was gonna call a cab to get to the airport, and they said, you know what? You can just return it at the airport. We have a Hertz there. It's totally cool. You can just return it there, save yourself some cab fare. So that's what we're gonna do. It's a very small little regional airport. I like these kind of flights. This won't actually get me to Vegas. This will get me to Denver, and then I will take a flight to Vegas. But the cool thing is, it's like a, I think 20-minute layover, and it's like a 2-hour flight each flight. That's actually showing John F. Kennedy here. He had an airport rally here on October 22nd, 1960. Wow, it says 15,000 area citizens showed up at the airport that day. 17 days later, Senator Kennedy was elected 35th President of the United States. All right, there's our plane through security, just waiting to board. I'm trying to think, I can't even remember the last time I was on a plane. I do so much driving. Fueling it up for us. I like these kind of planes because they only have 2 seats on each side. I hate the middle seats. Hello! First flight done. Just one more. They have all kinds of stuff to kill time, like cornhole boards. My connection, by the way, is all the way across the airport, as usual. All right, time to board.
Flight attendant now as soon as possible. As you are showing those rollerboards, please put them in.
Right on the wing again. We're asking for volunteers to not take the flight before the flight because they had oversold it. So they not only oversold the flight, then they wait for all these other people that were supposed to be on the flight to show up. Despite the usual nonsense with United, we have finally made it. I literally have 7 minutes before they close the rental car front desk. I am here, my home away from home. Raina, how are you? How are you? Hello, Debbie. Once again, the Fishers have been nice enough to put me up in Debbie Reynolds' casita. This is where she used to stay when she would come visit them. Actually was living here at the end of her life. This was the sofa that Carrie Fisher and Todd Fisher grew up with. And they know that I just appreciate and love Debbie and her spirit and everything so much they let me stay in her room here. The headboard to this bed, that used to be Carrie's bed. Okay, so the headboard here, this was Carrie Fisher's headboard when she was I think she was like a teenager around that time. But it was actually a movie prop also because it was Marlon Brando's bed playing Napoleon in the movie Desiree. So when I stay here, I not only stay in Debbie's bed, but also Carrie's bed, Marlon Brando's bed too. In this house, Carrie and Debbie are never forgotten. And there's a childhood photo. There's Debbie and Todd and Carrie Fisher and Harry Carl. As Todd says, Harry was the probably the lesser, even though he milked and spent all of Debbie's money, he was probably the better of the husbands. I don't know if I've ever shared this painting, but this is one of my favorites. It's a painting of Debbie and Todd and Carrie. And I think that would have been the backyard at 813 Greenway when they lived there. The last time I was here, I looked over at this chair and just said, everything in this room, you know, just kind of tells a story about Debbie, from this piece of stained glass to this painting to Todd and Carrie's bronzed shoes and the photos and everything. But I said, what is this about? And they said, oh, that's the tiger that Siegfried and Roy sent Debbie when she was sick one time. Well, my friends, I think we're going to call it a day. Thank you all for watching. From Las Vegas, we will see you next time. Have a great night and goodbye.